Tonight, we start the chapter of the wives in the big book of AA, but first we're going to have a history lesson. We're going to present some well-deserved key tags to somebody and a recovering addict's first annual talent show. What? Stay tuned right here on Recovering Addict.
And I'm an alcoholic addict.
Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Felice and I'm married to this wonderful man that you see next to me.
Woo! Another Sunday night. How the heck is everybody? For some reason, StreamYard is losing contact to the Facebook group and it's just now deciding to tell me. So I'm kind of doing that at the same time and it's popping up all this crazy stuff on the screen over here. But I want to talk about the history of AA. So back in 1939. Tonight, we're going to go over the chapter to the wives, and we're going to look at AA first because it has a chapter written to the wives, and it's going to describe 4 different types of alcoholics this person may be married to, right? And so you can kind of take this from 1939. You can relate it to if you're a parent looking at your kids, if you're a kid looking at your parents, and it's going to walk you through how to kind of handle the situation. It's almost the first... It reminds me of like the first introduction to Al-Anon. You know, it's trying to help a wife out whose husband back in 1939 is getting drunk, right? Losing his job or whatever. Nothing changes. Nothing has changed as far as what alcohol does to people. Alcoholism does to a person and the destruction it causes and the fear it causes to those who love them around them, right? And so we're going to look at that. But first, I want to kind of remind everybody, like we're diving into a book that was written back in 1939. AA was founded in 1935. Prohibition had just ended in 1933. Let me tell you just a few little things about what happened back in 1939, right? As this book was published, this chapter was written. It's only been revised twice, and the revisions on it have only been grammatical and some things like that, but nothing with the context has really changed over the years. It was written to the wives in hopes, as another obvious way to have more people buy the book, but hopefully the wife gets a hold of this book, because back then in 1939 addiction is a disease, all that stuff's just brand new. So it was like an avenue for a wife that was afraid that her husband might have this problem to get a hold of some literature that's going to help her get through this situation and give her some understanding of what's going on. But back in 1939, guess how much things cost? Just take a wild guess. Never mind. I'm just going to tell you. Average cost of a new house, brand new house, $3,800. The average wage, somebody's average wage per year, $1,700, $1,730 a year. The cost of a gallon of gas was 10 cents. The average cost for house rent, if you're going to rent a house, $28 a month. A loaf of bread was 8 cents. A pound of hamburger was 14 cents. The average price for a brand new car, $700, right? But the cost of electricity back then was a lot higher than it is now because a lot less people had electricity. And since then, the price of electricity has actually been cut in half. There's some information for y'all to look up if you don't believe me. So this is when women really started working, right? Because in 1929, the stock market crashed. Many other attributing factors, right? The United States entered into the Great Depression in 1929, and as a result, the unemployment rate of men increased 25%. Not only were men left to fend for themselves, but also the family members which they were responsible for. So women and men now, back then, right? Men were the breadwinners. Women took care of the house, and then depression hit. Men often became depressed and saw themselves as failures. So as I'm reading this history, we're going to look at a chronology of drinking history. Okay. And in 1933, they end prohibition, right? Prohibition was the time that they made alcohol illegal. No more alcohol, which led to what? A bunch of crime, a bunch of bootlegging. And it's like, you know how us as addicts, when we're told no, you can't have it, you want it the much more, right? And I think that combined with the stock market crash, the depression, jobs loss, I think all that was just this perfect situation for alcoholism a perfect storm, right? For people to become alcoholics. And that's why AA was founded and all that kind of stuff, you know? So back in 1933, once the Great Depression was over, they ended prohibition. They established a three-tier system, right? In the United States, it required that alcohol producers sell only to licensed wholesalers, who could only sell to licensed retailers, and ownership had to be kept separate between all three tiers, right? You got the people who make it, they sell it to the distributor sells it to the bar, the store, whatever. Therefore, no one could be both a producer and a wholesaler, a producer and a retailer, or a wholesaler. So they tried to, they didn't try. They put some guidelines on how alcohol was going to be distributed through America. Following the repeal of the national prohibition in the U.S. in 1933, home consumption of beer was further facilitated with the arrival of the aluminum beer can in 1934. So 1934, they finally get to crack open a beer, right? And also the spread of refrigerators began in the 30s. So now you get cold beer in the house. So we're already alcoholics. Now it's legal. Now I can have cold beer in cans in my house, and I can buy it from the gas station down the street, right? That's when drinking returned to the home and surfaced in the new cocktail. They had cocktail lounges, and both which women drinking, which is now more acceptable in those old time saloons. So following the repeal of the national prohibition in the U.S., those states that maintained state prohibition, listen to this, this is crazy. Like Kansas, Oklahoma, and Mississippi, they continued with the prohibition, right? States can do what they want. Alcoholism significantly increased in those states that they were told you can't drink, right? That's a picture perfect addict and alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And then in 1934, the Wine Institute was established by California vendors. Federal laws that established prohibition in the District of Columbia and the U.S. territories were repealed. Although prohibition was repealed in the national level, 18 states maintained prohibition, and about 2/3 of the states provided for local options whereby residents in countries and other political subdivisions could vote on the issues. Therefore, even after the repeal, 38% of the national population continued to live in dry areas. 1935, beer was first sold in cans in the U.S. Alcoholics Anonymous was established. 1936, the Federal Alcohol Administration Act was enacted, enabling the U.S. federal government to regulate alcohol beverages. The Pennsylvania tax on wine and distilled spirits is known as the Jamestown Flood Tax because it passed to raise revenue to help the city of Jamestown rebuild after a devastating flood. The city quickly rebuilt with the taxes, but the tax continues to this day and costs taxpayers over $160 billion yearly for a flood that happened back in 36.
That's how taxes work.
Wow.
Friends.
Have fun with that, Pennsylvania. But hey, whatever. Let's see. In 1937, the president of the World Women's Christian Temperance Union, Ella Bull, praised Adolf Hitler because he gave the beverage concession at last summer's Olympic Village to the Dutch people, right? Wow. Whatever. So in the 1939 and 1945, although British and French allies soldiers were given generous alcohol rations, American soldiers were expected to be abstainers. 1939, Alcoholics Anonymous published its book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which quickly became known as the Big Book. And that's kind of just gives you a good history and understanding. All right, so that's the time period we're talking about, right? Just got finished with the Great Depression. Just finished and ended prohibition on alcohol. People are alcoholics, this whole crime wave, the bootleggers happened with alcohol has just ended. And now all of a sudden we're getting into the Second World War, right? We're going to war with Germany and all that time period. So that's where this was written. And tonight we're going to look at chapter 8 of that. And this was written to the wives. But first, we're going to present some well-deserved key tags to somebody tonight for staying clean off of a drug that has taken many people down, that has ruined many lives. And I don't want no part of that drug no more. And I imagine this person doesn't either. Yo!
Pow, pow, pow. Oh, there's a real one. Yeah!
Allie!
Bow, 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 bow.
All right, I'm going to let Fleece do all the talking. Talk about all of what's about to happen right now.
So we are behind on the milestones of Allie here. So we done, and we haven't had in-person meetings and stuff. So she hasn't been able to collect her many key tags. So we decided tonight to give all of these ones to her. So just for today,
Yay.
24-hour chip. Tell us how you did it.
How I did just this or the whole thing?
Today. Just tell us about the first day.
Right.
Can
It's
you
all going to be the same. My answer's the
reminisce
same.
your very first day sober?
Yeah, I lived here. I was sleeping on the couch upstairs.
She wasn't allowed. That's why. And then she has 30 days. Bow, bow, bow. I'll give them all to you, and then you can tell us how you did it. She also has her 60 days.
Yay.
Woo!
Oh my.
And her 90 days. And she will have her 6 months coming up in April. And y'all will see
Yay.
that too. So
How'd I do it?
tell us how you did it. And then we'll put some love on it.
Okay.
Oh, we got
I think my answer is going to be the same, but always, you guys. I was able to do this because of you guys. Without all your love and support and bringing me into your home, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Not only that, you guys have given me my family knowledge and to love and support me through this too, which was a big step. And it's just because of you guys. For real.
Oh, she's too
Aw.
sweet. Wasn't us.
It was.
What about working through hard
Yeah.
times? How do you get through that kind of stuff?
You guys.
We just yell at
LT.
her. No, just kidding.
Yeah, you guys give me exactly what I need when I need it, whether it's tough love or support or whatever it is. Like, my answer for everything is you guys. Really is. So, I mean, I've kind of worked my steps a little bit, not faithfully though, but living here and going to you with anything. I know I can go to you guys for any questions or problems I have, and I can be completely honest, and you guys can help me through everything, and it's just been great.
Look at the screen and read that.
Aw, thanks, Mama. I love you
Aw.
too.
So sweet. We love you too, Jody.
She loves you guys.
Thanks
too.
for sharing your daughter with us. Oh, look, everybody's so proud of you.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Brad's upset. He said those were his keychains. He said he called dibs.
Oh, we can share.
Oh, I call dibs. I may not have enough for Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Now there might actually be another set for Brad.
Yeah.
Bradley.
Sweet.
Yay!
Congratulations, Holly.
Wait, I didn't love them. I put some love on these.
We'll let everybody out there virtually put some love on that, y'all.
You have 26 loves.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
Thanks, guys.
Ah, we're proud of you, Allie.
Thank you.
Can't wait to give you the next one.
Get it.
One day at a time. Nice work. People are saying, good job. Proud
Aw.
of you. It's an
Thanks,
achievement.
Jody. Thanks,
It's an
Allie's mom.
achievement. And the reason we do that, and if you guys did happen to gather the family around and we're talking about this and why do we do 24 hours and 30 days and 60 days and 90 days. And we as addicts feel like we've accomplished a lot because it is very difficult to get through 30, 60, and 90 days. And when we hit that 90 days, we go to our family who may not quite understand addiction and what we're going through and expect a parade. And our family's just like, yeah, right. Been here done that, seen this before, just waiting for you to relapse, right? Us addicts, we kind of get it. So we get together and we celebrate these times, not only to give strength to the person that did it and applaud them and cheer them on and keep them going, but also for the newcomer, the person that just walked in the door that's still shaken from alcohol or sick on heroin. They can look and say, whoa, if that person can do it, I can do it. And, it's an inspiration thing. It's a whole support system that's just designed beautifully to help each other, because we recover better together. That's why we do this. And then tonight, that's why we're going through and starting this family thing called the Chapter to the Wives, chapter 8 in the big book. We're just going to read it together. So we'll start that here in just a second. And then at 8:30, we're going to bring Teeter on. He's got a special announcement for us and stuff. And then we will continue in this book. This may turn into a 3-part thing just to get through this chapter. It's 17 pages. It's quite in depth about 4 different types of alcoholics and how to deal with them if you happen to find yourself in this situation.
It's good stuff.
As a married to one, or maybe you'll see yourself in these. I see myself as the number 2. I think it was number 2 or 3. I can't remember.
If I had to grade, I'd say you were 3.
The third one. Yeah.
But like not all the way into it to where you lost your job. I think it was getting there.
Oh yeah. I was getting close. Getting very close to that. So if you could do us a favor, give us a thumbs up, hit those hearts and likes and loves, and share this out. #share squad going on here.
Shout out to Mad's mama. Glad you're watching.
Awesome.
Hi, Mad's mom.
So I would suggest, if you have a big book, open that bad boy up. Open it up to page 104, which is chapter 8. And we're just going to read along. We'll read and discuss. We'll check on the comments. If you guys have any comments on what we're reading, put them on. Drop the comments there. We'll pull them up on the screen. We'll discuss them. If you're out there and you have experienced this and you want to come on here, we'll drop a link and you can come on and share what you're going through or anything. This is a whole discussion and we want to cover all of it, and we want the family to understand too. So hopefully there's some family members around, because sometimes I've heard this many times before. Even Felice, this chapter helped her out when I started really diving in and helping other addicts. I've heard other people say, hey, is your recovery family and meetings more important than your real family? Because they feel like they've just been abandoned by you already, and now you're in recovery, and all of a sudden you're more focused on that in a sense. Allie says, thanks everybody. Love and appreciate y'all so much. Heck yeah. Thanks for the inspiration, Allie.
Oh.
So get out your book. If you got it, we're going to start reading right now.
Thanks, Leslie.
It says, chapter 8, to the wives. With few exceptions, our book thus far has spoken of men, but what we have said applies quite as much to women. Our activities in behalf of women who drink are on the increase. There is every evidence that a woman regain their health as readily as men if they try our suggestion. Remember, now we're looking at 1939. Prohibition ended in 1933, and now it's more common for women to find themselves at the lounge, right, in the local bars drinking. So not only has alcoholism been prevalent in men, and it still is, but then it started increasing during this time period in women as well. It says, but for every man who drinks otherwise are involved, the wife who trembles in fear of the next debauch, the mother and father who see their son wasting away. So not only is this to the wife, this is to the parents looking at a son who could be drinking, right? And they're living in fear of the next time they have a belligerent blackout drunk. And this is the 30s and stuff. This isn't like today where everything's caught on TV, on camera, and you can, from a ditch, you wrecked your car, you can call your mom on a cell phone. They may not have found out for a couple days later. The trackability of each family member wasn't as easy as it is now. So it says, among us, on the third paragraph down, among us are wives, relatives, and friends whose problem have been solved, as well as some who have not yet found a happy solution. We want the wives of the Alcoholics Anonymous to dress the wives of men who drink too much. What they say will apply to nearly everyone bound by ties of blood or affection to an alcoholic. So if you're tied by the bonds of affection or blood to an alcoholic, this is going to help you out. As wives of Alcoholics Anonymous, we would like you to feel that we understand as perhaps few can. And that's kind of where this whole thing of recovering addict is, a family recovery, because we recover better together, right? And then I sit on this side of the table and talk to the addict because I've experienced it. And Fleece sits on this side and talks to the addict's friend, partner, whoever, because she's been tied to it through affection, marriage, right? And she can help and understand there. And that's what this chapter is about. We want to leave you with the feeling that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness too great to overcome. There's hope. This chapter, I would almost call a hope chapter to the person outside looking in at an alcoholic. It may seem like there's an end. It may seem like there's no end, I should say. And it may seem like this is too difficult. This is never going to be overcome. You haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't been in the fights I've been in with this person. This chapter is telling you, yes, we have. There's hope. What?
Alan's Jeanette's wife. This is for you, Alan. It's super helpful.
That's funny.
Brad said to check your phone.
Why?
Just said check the phone, Fleece and LT.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, dude, she's gonna freak out.
Yeah, she is.
Allie, come here.
Allie!
I want to show you what Brad just sent you. So it's to my Cash App. So Brad just sent you $180, $1 for every day for 6 months. Happy birthday.
Wait, what?
He just sent you $180.
Wait, what?
Happy birthday! Because Brad's just that kind of guy.
Brad. Really?
Yeah.
Brad.
Right?
Oh, thank you.
So we'll get it to you right after this.
You guys.
No, yours. Can't steal your birthday money.
So these wives. Hey, Melissa, welcome to the show, Mama of Kenny.
Hey, it's Mama.
It's been a while, for sure. It's been a while.
Hey, Jay.
So the person writing this chapter says, we have traveled a rocky road. There's no mistake about that. We have had a long rendezvous with hurt, pride, frustration, self-pity, misunderstanding, and fear. These are not pleasant companions. No doubt about that. Nobody wants to be companions with frustration, self-pity, and fear, right? We've been driven to, what is that word? Modeling
sympathy.
Modeling
I
sympathy.
don't know,
See,
look it up.
there's those big words that I don't know. So they've been, I think
Nothing
it's just like a gross sympathy to bitter resentment. Some of us veered from extreme to extreme, ever hoping that one day our loved ones would be themselves once more. Just this roller coaster of crazy emotions, from loving them to being empathetic towards them to bitterly resenting and hating them, and just wishing for one day, where is the person I met before this happened, before this alcoholic emerged? Why won't they return to the person I met, right?
Okay, maudlin, self-pitying or tearfully sentimental, often through drunkenness.
Yep.
Drunk enough to be emotionally silly.
Our loyalty and the desire that our husbands hold up their heads and be like other men have begotten all sorts of predicaments. We have been unselfish and self-sacrificing. We have told innumerable lies to protect our pride and our husband's reputation. Have you ever told a lie? And this could be, remember, 1939, we're talking to the wives. This was the kind of pretty much a different world way back then. Try to extract from this the situation you may be in with your child, you know? Have you lied for your child and their addiction? Or as a child, have you lied for your parents' addiction because you were embarrassed by what they've done? And then if you're a husband, have you lied for your wife? And vice versa. Just try to extract the situation you're in if you're related to or in a situation where the other person's an addict. Hey, Brad, you haven't till what?
I said I'm coming up on 2 years. Start
That's
saving.
a lot of money.
A penny a year. Penny a day. But yeah, I used to make excuses for you.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly because I didn't want people to think bad things about you.
That's one thing.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't necessarily I was embarrassed. I just didn't want people to look down on you. And then I got over that. I read
I'm over it.
I read a bunch of things that told me to knock it off. So
What
I
a
did.
piece of crap. Let him be a piece of crap.
They said to let you explain instead of me trying to explain. So I was like, I would be like, why don't you ask LT? He'll tell you why he's not here.
No
Or he'll
kidding.
make an excuse or whatever he's going to tell you.
I've kind of
Or he
started
won't
doing that
answer.
now for anybody. Because when somebody's like, oh, hey, how's this person doing? There could be a good motive behind it, but it depends on the person, I guess I should say, in the situation. But I've come to just say, hey, why don't you, if you are concerned about that person and their well-being or whatever, give them a call. Why don't you call them? Let's not do this gossip thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother story. Okay, so we have told innumerable lies to protect our pride, right? And our husband's reputation. That's what she was doing with me, protecting my reputation. We have prayed. We have begged. We've been patient. We have struck out viciously. We've run away. We've been hysterical. We have been terror-stricken. We have sought sympathy. We have been retaliatory, right? We have been retaliatory with love affairs with other men. Our homes have been battlegrounds many an evening. In the morning, we have kissed and made up. Our friends have counseled chucking the men, and we have done with finality, right? Our friends have counseled chucking the men, and we have done so with finality, only to be back with a little while, hoping, always hoping. You know, you get around your friends. Why are you with that guy? He is such a piece of crap, you know? And then the next day they're back together. Hoping
Always
and
hoping.
hoping. Our men have sworn great solemn oaths as they were through drinking forever. I never gonna do that again. Scout's honor. Right? We have believed them when no one else could or would. Then in days, weeks, or months, a fresh outburst. We seldom had friends at our home, never knowing how or when the men in the house would appear. We could make few social engagements. We came to live almost alone. When we were invited out, our husbands sneaked so many drinks that they spoiled the occasion. If, on the other hand, they took nothing, the self-pity made them killjoys. I kind of got to that point. If I went out, I had rituals around any situation I was in. If it was a barbecue at Fleece's house and there was drinking, party on, Wayne, I'm in. And I'm drinking. If it was people we didn't know, I'm pre-gaming it, right? If it was a school function and the kids were singing in a talent show or whatever, I'm drinking vodka out of a sneaky glass, trying to, or if I couldn't drink and it was a Sunday and I forgot to buy alcohol, then I was a self-pity killjoy. Oh, this sucks. I don't want to go. All that kind of stuff. There was never financial security. Positions were always in jeopardy or gone. And you got to think about this too, right? The Great Depression just ended in 29. It's not like, okay, the Great Depression's over in 29 and the stock market bounces back and the next day, 25% unemployment just turns right around. No, the world has to rebuild. And by the time this comes out, it's 10 years later, and it takes 10 years. We were talking to a realtor, and she's like, if the bubble pops and the economy drops in the housing market, it takes 10 years to get back. It's a 10-year thing, right? And so that's what they're looking at here. And so maybe these men had jobs finally after digging out of holes, because then say it's a 44, 45-year-old men. They were 35 when the Great Depression ended, which means they lived a good chunk of that depression. And now maybe they're back on track. Maybe they got their nice apartment, and all of a sudden this guy's about to ruin everything because he's drinking, and then there's the World War right around the corner. These were not easy times back then. It says there was never financial security. Positions were always in jeopardy or gone. An armored car could not have brought the pay envelopes home. Like, this guy goes and gets his check from work. He's already cashed it and drank it before it got home. The checking account melted like snow in June. Money, where'd it go? He's drinking it all away. And remember, we're looking at $1,700 a year back then. So you're looking at 10 cents a drink. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
We're up to almost like $5,000 a year or more.
Bam. I was spending $5,000 a year or more, and I was buying the cheap stuff.
I think something like that. Maybe 2, somewhere between there, 2 to 5. It was a lot.
Man. Okay, I'm going to read one more paragraph. We're going to take a break. Sometimes there were other women. How heartbreaking was this discovery? How cruel to be told they understood our men as we did not. Oh, yeah, you'll go open up to her. Oh, yeah, you think I've been through everything with you. What does she know? The bill collectors, the sheriff, the angry taxi drivers, the policemen, the bums, the pals, and even the ladies they sometimes brought home. Our husbands thought we were so inhospitable. Our husband, they're like thinking this is like the husband yelling at them when they're drunk, right? You're a joy kill. You're a nag. You're a wet blanket. That's what they said. Next day, they would be themselves again, and we would forgive and try to forget. Probably didn't remember saying all that stuff. And with that, we're going to take a little break and have something we haven't had for a while.
What is it going to be?
What is it going to be? Where is it?
Good job, Dennis. 65 months, 23 days clean today.
Dang, good
Glad
job,
you're here.
Dennis.
Shout out to Dennis in Illinois. And welcome back, Desmond. We've missed you.
What happened to Teeter Time? Oh, there it is. Welcome to Teeter Time.
It's our long lost friends.
Hello. Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
What's up?
Pretty good, pretty good. Well, congratulations, Ali, on your key tags. Yay!
Yay, Allie.
Oh, hold on, I got.
They said yay.
Yay, Ali!
Bow, bow, bow. Yes. They told you
So, with that said,
Thank you.
I like to go back a little bit in time. Michael received his 6-month coin 6 months ago for being 6 months sober. So I'm glad that he was able to get to fulfill that time in his life. Now, I would also like to give him his 1 year coin because he was able to fulfill his 1 year of being sober. So congratulations, Michael. On March 11th, he was sober for 1 year.
I want one. My mouth works.
But yeah, I just want to thank everybody that has been here and everyone that has been his backbone and supporting him throughout the year. It's been amazing. As hard as it could get and as hard as it is, I'm surprised how much of an ease this year has gone. Because honestly, I don't think we could have done it without any of you guys behind him and behind us, actually. So thank you, Recovering Addict Group. I love you all. And with that said, here's Michael with his announcement.
Well, he's got to tell us how he made it a year.
All right, you got to tell them now how you made it a whole year.
Hold on. Now the microphone's used to Asia, so you got to take back over the microphone. Still can't hear you.
Hi. Hello.
You got to back up a little and get closer to Asia.
And then sing us a song.
Hello, hello.
There we go.
Okay. Now that I'm on, my computer doesn't like me. I couldn't thank you guys enough for it's everyone in the group really that is keeping each other sober, and that's what this whole group is about. It's keeping each other sober. And honestly, I've never gone this long without drinking before, and so it does really mean a lot to me. But we do have one little announcement. May the 30th, Recovering Addict will be having its first annual talent show
Talent show.
with cash prizes sponsored by yours truly. There will be two $25 third place winners, one $50 second place winner, and one $100 first place winner. I will be the judge and the jury, so don't F it up.
Yeah, Allie said she's gonna tap dance with a baton on fire.
Ooh.
Oh, we should have Danny enter the contest.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Okay, so we're going to be recruiting talent. We're waiting until May 30th, so we got 2 months to prepare. We're going to have 5 to 10 people. I'm shooting for 10, and we're going to make it as long as we can. It's going to be a fundraiser where we $5 to get the unlisted link to this live show, and it's going to be on May 30th, and that has a special date as well. That's going to be Link's 4-year anniversary since the day of the accident. It'll be kind of a celebratory, all that good stuff in one. And then the money that we raise is going to go to Breaking Chains, the Whitney project. You guys remember Bree and how we're working together with her and the stuff she's doing in New York. We're going to raise money for her and the facility that she's opening, inpatient, outpatient, online counseling, and all kinds of good stuff happening there. So if you have a special talent you want to showcase, it doesn't matter. You can sing, you can dance, you can tell jokes, you can do card tricks, magic tricks, comedy. I know Jeanette said something about her wanting to enter the show to be a comedian, or Alan dancing like a Chippendale. Either way, just shoot me an email at recoveringaddict8@gmail.com, and we will start this process of how to set up your camera, how to do your show, and we'll have a couple of practice shows so that we can get everybody in, and then people that are watching who have the link will be able to text and vote for the winner, and then the winner, like Teeter said, gets $100, second place 50, third placers, 2 third placers get $25 each, and it's just for fun.
Oh, you gotta impress me though.
Hell yeah.
And
Yes.
here's a clip saying hi. She wanted to be in the show. She says hi.
Meow meow meow.
Meow meow meow.
What's so funny, Jeanette?
He
Well,
said.
I don't see. She's already busted jokes.
All right,
Yeah,
back to
so
the show.
confident.
All right, thank you guys, Teeter. Congratulations on a year. I can't believe it's
Oh,
been a
and
year.
Asia will be the host in full drag.
Oh man, you keep promising that. Actually, you've been promising that for a year, if I am not mistaken.
It's true. Winner wins a cat. Meow meow meow.
Yeah, just to rehash real quick, Teeter, you found Recovering Addict and what we were doing here. Me just trying to stay sober, doing something I'm passionate about, videos and photography. And then 2 weeks into that, you found us. It was 2 weeks into your sobriety, and you've been strong with us ever since, inspiring so many. So special congratulations and thank you to how awesome you are. And I think you ought to share that video we made of you to everybody in the world.
You know what? Go ahead. Throw it on there.
Okay, I'll do it. All right, bro. We'll talk to you in just a minute.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. So yeah, first annual, and I want to do this every year. And
That's not the question.
and as we raise money, I want to find different foundations, different charities, different things to raise money for. And that's what we're going to do it for. So if you guys see or hear of anything that we can raise money for, let's do it. If you know anybody that has a talent and that would like to at least get it on YouTube on us in a way, have them get involved. If they can rap, if they can drop some beats, if they make music, or I don't know, just think of any type of talent. They can stand on their head like Alan does when Jeanette shows us them in Zoom meetings. That would be cool too.
Linky can stand on one finger.
Yeah.
Does it have to be live or video?
We're going to do it live. So Epi, if you want to like show us how you make a beat and play that beat and all that stuff, that's your talent, and we'll do that. But it's going to be a live event. Yes, it's going to be a produced live event where I pull each contestant on, and it's going to be fun.
Link also knows how to drop beats. He does it all the time in the grocery store.
There you go. National MS Society. Perfect.
Every time we pass the beats, he does. He'll drop them.
So if you know anybody that's talented, tell them to email me at recoveringaddict8@gmail.com, and we will start this process. We got 2 months. Let's get a few people. Let's try this. And if it works out good, then we'll start doing it every year and see where it goes.
And Brad, you're exempt. You don't get to win.
Yeah, Brad's out.
You win.
He
too
won the
many
$100
games.
too.
Yeah, lucky.
Lucky him.
Yeah. Bob said, okay, I made it in the room 38 minutes late,
Bobby!
but better late than never. Hey, no worries. I'm glad you're here, brother. All right. Stop laughing. Stop smiling. We're back to recovery.
Jeez. No wonder everybody's scared of you in the meetings.
Killjoy. Wet blanket.
You're my wet blanket.
I love that too. You're a wet blanket.
What does that even mean?
That means I'm on fire and you just put it out.
That's what that means.
What else would you use a wet blanket for?
I don't.
When Danny
makes
spins
sense.
fire and I'm his safety guy,
You have a wet
I
blanket.
have a wet blanket.
That makes sense.
All right. So the wife, back to the wife, looking at the husband right back 1939. We have tried to hold to the love of our children for their father. I'm going to stick with this guy because we have kids together, right? How many of us have said that? Let's stay together and make this work for the kids. And that's what the person, the non-addict in this relationship is saying. We have told small tots that their father was sick, which was much nearer the truth than we realized. They struck the children, kicked out the door panels, smashed treasured crockery.
Crockery?
Crockery.
Quit smashing my crockery.
And ripped the keys out of pianos.
That really says that?
Yeah. So basically, they went and trashed the house. They
Yeah.
broke up the pots and pans. They smacked the kid. They kicked down the wall.
The
They're
crockery.
breaking coffee pots and nice china. Well, we got to think of it back then. Smashed treasured crockery. I mean, there's a lot in that sentence because this was written in 39, following the Great Depression, and it's not like today. We're the generation of throw it away, right? We buy Tupperware.
Yeah,
We eat
disposable.
off paper plates mostly because we don't want to do dishes. But back then, you had a bunch of dishes in a nice china cabinet, and they were probably handed down from your grandmother or your mother, and you wanted to take care of them. And then this jerk shows up all drunk and rips them out of there and starts chucking them around the house, and then says sorry in the morning. So you got to feel, I don't know. That's why I like to do a little history on what we're reading. And then you kind of see like,
It
geez.
wasn't easy to buy new crockery.
Yeah,
back
you don't
then.
get, matching.
Yeah.
Nothing matched back then. As far as that goes,
Christopher Meekins.
imagine if it didn't get smashed, what it would be worth today. You could have these could have been our grandmothers, right?
We
And they could have passed it down to
yeah.
your mom, and then you could have had it. But no, some drunk prick had to break the crockery.
Grandpa broke my nice
Damn
crockery.
it, Grandpa. We're reading about Grandpa right now, y'all.
We are.
Well, we wonder why
breaking
you don't
our-
have nice china.
He was an alcoholic and broke it all. Grandma's still mad about it. Just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah. Grandma's pissed.
She brings it up every once in a while. She's all, remember that crockery?
And the piano keys?
Oh,
That was a
pianos?
nice piano.
Yeah, they weren't cheap.
Damn it. Back then, no.
How do you even rip out a piano key? Like, you have to be pretty mad
Yeah.
or something to pull.
Probably
a
just
piano key
smashing
out.
it. Probably smashing the crockery on it. In the midst of such pandemonium, they may have rushed out threatening to live with the other woman forever.
See your doctor if your crockery has been broken. Broken crockery in you, a documentary. Yes, Alan, the crockery.
Crockery? That's a crocka. Oh, that's funny. But you can see it
Not
though,
funny.
right? How many of you have been the person that trashes the house? Me, they're still in this laundry room. If you go over, look by the washing machine, there's a hole in the wall. Perfect fist print. And I put it there. But I think not because we were fighting. I think it's just the basement flooded or something.
No, those are all upstairs.
All the ones fighting were upstairs before I fixed them all. But we punch holes in walls, we kick stuff, we ruin valuable things. I've slammed doors, I've headbutted the car, freaking
Oh, there was knuckle prints. They were like right there. I put a band-aid on it.
yeah, man, my nut, yeah. I still punch stuff.
Yeah. He's a sober puncher.
Man, so in desperation, we've even gotten tied ourselves. The drunk to end all drunks. The unexpected result was that our husbands seemed to like it. Screw it, let's party. Get them trashed. Wow, that's what I'm talking about, guilt-free drinking, right? Perhaps at this point, we got a divorce. We took the children home to a father or mother, right? You take you and move out and you move in with mom and dad. Then we're severely criticized by our husband's parents for the desertion. All of a sudden you got the in-laws on your boat. Oh, why did you leave him? You know, and this is back in the 30s. You're looking at
didn't
this.
get divorced back then.
Yeah, back then it was, especially to those, that would be our great-great-great-grandparents type thing. Usually we did not leave. We stayed on and on. We finally sought employment ourselves as destitution faced us and our families. So the wife at this point is like, well, I can't leave. I'm going to stay together for the kids. He can't keep a damn job. I'm going to go get a job. And, you know, World War's kicking up. So there are jobs available for women, you know, sewing.
Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, all that stuff. We began to ask medical advice as the sprees got closer together. The alarming physical and mental symptoms, the deepening pall of remorse, depression, and inferiority that settled down on our loved ones, these things terrified and distracted us. As animals on a treadmill, we have patiently and wearily climbed, falling back in exhaustion after each futile effort to reach solid ground. Oh, that's just exhausting to read that. The hopelessness in that whole paragraph. As an animal on a treadmill, patiently, and you're just climbing and climbing to no end. It's like a Jacob's. Have you guys seen that Jacob's ladder exercise machine? Imagine just climbing up that until you fall back in exhaustion after everything you've tried to do to stay afloat. Most of us have entered the final stage with the commitment to health resorts, sanitariums, hospitals, and jails. Sometimes there were screaming, delirium, and insanity. Death was often near. Man, these guys were pouring it on. Under these conditions, we naturally made the mistakes. Some of them rose out of ignorance of alcoholism. Sometimes we sensed dimly that we were dealing with a sick man. Had we fully understood the nature of alcoholic illness, we may have behaved differently. Now, this is where it almost is like the first little introduction to Al-Anon. Like, what? Sickness? Understand the full nature of this sickness and illness, right? Maybe we would have done differently. So this is a good educational introduction to a wife that may have an alcoholic husband. And then it's going to go into 4 different types of alcoholics and how to deal with them as a partner. How could men who love their wives and children be so unthinking, so callous, and so cruel? This guy married me. He says he loves me. He hugged the kids goodnight. But all of a sudden now he's coming home and he's callous and cruel. How the heck can this be? I mean, a lot of us have said, you know, when you get that confrontation from your counselors, a lot of people have, as I had, and I'd seen other people get it, you know, we called it the hot seat, but the counselor's like, you do love your addiction more than your kids. You see people stand up, throw chairs, freak out. No, I don't. But their actions and our actions have proved the complete opposite. Yes, we have. The neglect alone. We have loved our addiction more than we loved our mom and dad. We have loved our addiction more than we loved our partner or our children or our animals, whatever the scenario may be. You know what that means?
You told me. I forgot.
You told me. I forgot too.
So this was given to me by a cool dude who sponsors people here. It means read the fucking book.
That's what I was just thinking. But I was like, that can't be it.
Read the effing book. And so now that's my bookmark. RTFB, baby.
Brad says, I should come on the live and let mom tell everybody what I did last summer. Arguing with Ashley on the phone, trash porch. Mom wanted to murder me.
I'll bet, dude.
Bob said, I like to read the big book real slow, line by line, taking special meaning from each phrase. There's a lot of information there if you look.
It's really like Bob, you did miss the intro to the show. We did talk about history, right? This was written back in 1939. AA founded in 1935. We looked at the cost of living, the cost of bread, the cost of a house. A new house was $3,800. We looked at women's and the employment of women in the 1930s. Women have only been able to vote for a short period of time at this point. The cultural construct in this time period was much different. And so when you read little phrases just like the crockery, we can laugh at the word that they use to describe
the nice china,
the nice plates and dishes, right? But if you think about what it took, and it just kind of hits you different when you think about what it took to make that stuff, how much it could have cost back after. This is the night, if you were born in 1900, the crap you had to live through, switching from farm life into finally machine life, switching, and the Spanish flu hits, World War I hits, the Great Depression hits, then you got prohibition and crime, then you're going into World War II, and then a little bit further, you're going into Vietnam, and we're here crying because our Amazon package didn't arrive on time. life was much different back then. We cry about a lot of stuff that shouldn't be cried about. I don't know. And you tie all that history back into the words we're reading here, and it just makes it pop. I'm with you on that, Bob. I'm all in. I hear he's like, shut up and keep reading. Where were we? How could they be so callous and cruel, right? We're supposed to love our kids and stuff. There could be no love in such persons, we thought. And just as we were being convinced of their heartlessness, they would surprise us with a fresh resolve and a new attention. For a while they would be their old sweet selves, only to dash into a new structure of affection to pieces once more, right? Oh, I promised this. And for a week or so, wow, it seems like they're back. They're happy. They're loving. Oh my gosh, no fights. And all of a sudden, one weekend, everything comes crashing back down. The hope, the bubble gets popped. Maybe it feels like you're getting stabbed in the back.
Always waiting for that bottom to drop.
And that's another, right there is another thing us addicts have to understand about the parents or the loved ones, is they're waiting for that to happen again. So why don't they trust me? We get upset about. I just told them the truth and they don't believe me, and we're upset about it. We as addicts need to understand how many times we've done just that, right? We've tricked them, or they've had that hope in us that we're going to be clean and fresh and things are better. We're on the growth, and wham, we fall right back into addiction. And they're just like, oh, their hearts are broken all over again. And so no, what, our 4th or 5th or 10th attempt at sobriety, and we're upset that they're hesitant to believe stuff that we say, and they watch from a distance and they get their guards up longer. Shame on us for being upset.
I would like to know the statistics of how many addicts are hands-on learners.
I don't know what I am anymore.
Like, seems like a lot have to live through it to understand it,
Oh.
to not do it.
Yeah.
Right. All of
Because
us.
somebody can tell
That's
me,
me.
don't do that. And I'm like, okay. But I like that. I wonder what that statistic is.
Not me. People tell me like, hey, don't touch that. The stove's hot. I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna touch
Person
it.
turns around. I'm like, ow.
Oh, yep, that was hot.
That's what hot feels like.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like, I wonder if a lot of, because you just have to live through it and learn it, experience it.
So as asked why they commenced to drink again, why do they go back? Why,
Alan said you're an Ewok.
He's talking about you.
Nope.
Probably talking Allie or Jeanette. He had to be talking about you, Allie, or Jeanette, not me.
You're the Ewok. They're cute. It's fine. They're cute and hairy.
That's true.
And tiny.
That's me.
I don't know what that means, Leslie.
Look it up. Kinesthetically.
She learns.
Kinesthetically, I don't know what I can't even. Go ahead.
All right.
Move
So
I'm gonna look it up.
we ask them, right? They go through after all this time. They just convinced us that
Oh,
they're not going to
well,
fall back
Fancy words for hands-on.
hands on. That's
Yeah,
cool. Thank you
interesting.
for the education.
I think a lot.
So
of
ask
addicts are
why they
hands-on.
commenced to drink again. Why did you do that again? They would reply with some silly excuse or none. How many times have I got to that point where I wouldn't even excuse? Like, I think one point stands out in Felice's head. She's like, "Are you going to quit drinking?" I'm like, "Just shut up. I'll take care of it when I take care of it."
And I did. I was like,
No,
okay.
it's a Jar Jar.
No, you're a Jar Jar. You're Jar Jar Binks.
Me?
Yeah.
Now I'm a Jar Jar?
He doesn't know what that is, Alan, but I do.
If you watch,
I do too.
I don't mean to offend anybody else but Alan. If you watch Star Wars,
We're all already offended. He's not even gonna finish the sentence, Alan.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
I don't want to finish the other dorks out there.
He just called you nerd.
Totally kidding.
He's not.
It was so baffling and heartbreaking.
embarrassed.
Could we have been so mistaken in the men we married? All of a sudden, you're like, what the hell? How did I get tricked into this? Was I mistaken? What did I not see? What did I miss? When drinking, they were strangers. Sometimes they were so inaccessible that it seemed as though a great wall had been built around them.
Teeter says, y'all have no idea, or maybe you do, how much value and importance this show community is to people in recovery. Sometimes it's their lifeline.
Amen.
Oh, thanks, Michael.
I hear you on that, brother.
Darth Jar Jar. Yes.
Everybody out there's way.
Mine are up here, so I look so nerdy. 100% Peter.
So even if they didn't love their families, now we're trying to analyze, like, what the heck is going on with this person, and why do they drink? Why do they seem to hate us? Supposedly they love us, but look at their actions. It proves that they hate us. Even if they don't love their families, what about themselves? How are they so blind to not loving themselves? And the abuse that we put on ourselves, we did not love ourselves, period. If you're putting that much poison in your body and you're burning down that many bridges around you and your reputation and all that, you have no love for yourself, right? How could we be so blind to that? And people are baffled looking out on the outside, looking at how can they, okay, maybe they don't love us, but how do they not love themselves? What had become of their judgment, their common sense, their willpower? Why can't they just say no? Why could they not see that drink meant ruin for them? Like, if you take that pill, if you shoot that heroin, just think about that. It's just poison in your body. If you smoke that, if you sniff that line, any drug you want to think of, right? If you put that in your body, it's going to ruin you. And you're the type of person that it's going to ruin. Hello? In the words of Sylvia, hello?
Sylvia!
Why was it when these dangers were pointed out that they agreed? Oh, yeah, I get it. What I'm doing is bad. And then they drink again immediately. That's the baffling thing, right? The doctor's opinion, all that stuff. This is all being contemplated in the early 1900s. These are some of the questions which race through the mind of every woman who has an alcoholic husband. We hope this book has answered some of them. Perhaps your husband has been living in the strange world of alcoholism where everything is distorted and exaggerated. You can see that he really does love you with his better self. Of course, there is such a thing as incompatibility. Maybe you guys just don't get along. But in nearly every instance, the alcoholic only seems to be unloving and inconsiderate. It is usually because he is warped and sickened that he says and does these appalling things. Today, most of our men are better husbands and fathers than ever before. And ends that little paragraph right there with hope. But check it out. Today, now that our husbands have read this book, have done this Alcoholics Anonymous thing that was founded 4 years ago, right? This came out in 1939. Our husbands are better husbands and fathers than even before. So what is it about this? What is it that could help these people, like that little saying we put on in the Discord? Recovery is not giving you your old life back. It's giving you a fresh start to build a brand new life. It's your turn to now write your story with your eyes wide open. You touched the stove. You don't want to touch it anymore. It's hot, right? And now you can rewrite your life. You have the rest of your life now to rewrite your eulogy, to sit in an old folks home at 90 and be like, good job, good job in the last half of your life with no regrets, that kind of thing. That's what we're shooting for. And we lived happy, right? We didn't go get drunk and get a tattoo that says regrets. Yeah.
Those are my favorite. Regrets and angles. The angles are watching over me.
That was part 1 tonight of chapter 8, to the wives. We will pick up again on that Tuesday. It'll take as long as it takes to get through this. Anything you guys can think of, drop it in the Discord. I will bring it up. Remember, there's a talent show. If you want to enter, hit me up at recoveringaddict8@gmail.com, and we will get that process rolling. It'll be fun. It's just for fun, and it's going to a good charity. So that's what that's going to be. We're going to bring Teeter on and have us a serenity prayer.
And tell them that I'm hosting.
And
And Asia is going to be the host.
Y'all beat me to it.
I'm curious, Mad, what did your mom think? And Alan, what did you think? Did you guys learn anything from tonight?
Alan, learn. Yeah, okay.
Alan just wants to win. Or no, Brad just wants to win.
Alan said he had a hard time dealing with it when Jeanette's addiction was revealed.
Oh, I'll bet, dude. I'll bet. I would have had it. I couldn't. I don't think if the roles were reversed,
We'd be divorced.
I don't know. Yeah, the type of person I am, I'd have been like, see ya, gone. Yeah, I'm a jerk, kind of. What are you shaking your head at, Teeter?
Why hasn't John queued it up yet? Oh, there we go. I didn't see. I'm late.
You like? Good. I'm glad, Ellen. That was close.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
God,
God,
grant me the
grant me the serenity to
accept
accept the things I cannot change,
the
the courage to change things I can,
The
the wisdom to know the difference. Ooh, ooh.
Amen.
Amen. Pow, pow, pow.
In the words of John V from Venture Forward, we recover better together by staying safe, staying sane, staying strong, and staying sober. You're worth it. And that's true, man. Y'all are worth it. Good night, family. I love you, John says. And on that note, everybody, Tuesday at 8 o'clock, we'll be back going through part 2 of chapter 8 to the wives. And then after that, we're going to slowly get into the family members of the AA book, and then we'll see where we go from there. But I want to cover family stuff, Al-Anon stuff for this next little while so that you can bring your daughter, you can bring your child, you can bring your mom or dad or your husband and sit next to each other and listen. And hopefully this will help some things. And if there's any questions, drop them in the questions in the Discord and I'll research them out and talk to counselors and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll do that.
I wish I would have found this a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had to do so much digging.
Yeah, true that. All right. Until Tuesday, y'all, do not put yourself in a high risk situation. Stay strong, work your program. And remember, we recover better together.
Together.